Yeah, I'm a theoretical physicist, so in some way theoretical physics is all about modeling, what we think reality might be. And in my particular case, I'm interested in quantum physics, which is the world of small atoms and electrons and even smaller particles. And obviously it's things that are quite hard to see, and they're also quite hard to imagine in a way. So the modeling actually already starts before I write the code. I come up with a mathematical theory, some sort of set of equations which I believe have something to do with how, say, an atom moves around under the influence of a laser. So in that sense, one reason why I do computer modeling is actually to visualize things, but also there are lots of mathematical ideas and models, and in many ways you just often want to see what they do rather than just having to do lengthy analytic calculations. But the way what hasn't been investigated for a while is what happens if there are any losses in a quantum system. So the way I like to often say that is, if you have a coffee cup or something, and you're interested in how the coffee moves around in it, so you can just look at the interior of this cup, right? As long as it's in a very good shape. But if now there sort of starts leaking, if there's a crack in the cup or something, and the coffee is leaking out, it might actually be that you can still have an effective description for what happens inside in this sort of lossy system. One thing is that you can do it everywhere, which is great. I mean, it's not really the reason I chose it, but it still is quite good. So you're very mobile. And in fact, in many ways, it doesn't necessarily mean you can only do that at home or at work, but it also means that you can go visit collaborators and you can pack out your computer and you can actually just start looking into it. So I can travel around the world to people who are doing interesting experiments, and I can on the spot start thinking about how would I describe that, what would I expect in the outcome. I can start running computer codes. As a small kid, I had already sort of done a bit of programming on one of these computers that no one would remember nowadays. It was already ancient when I had it. My father brought it back from work and it was been sorted out there. So I had this tiny screen and you just type directly programming language. It couldn't do anything else. Just keep on doing what you enjoy, well, what I enjoy, and not to lose sight of why I'm doing it. So really keep this sort of enjoyment of it in the focus, because it's sometimes easy to fall into some sort of ambition traps where you just then want to perform according to some set rules that the outside sets, right? So you have to keep in mind that the reason why you do all of that, because sometimes there are going to be times where it's not so enjoyable and you need something to carry you through. You need to know why you do